Welcome to Biology Today. Tonight, a riveting and revealing story on the truth behind genetically modified organisms. Think about the food you eat every day. Do you know how much of it has been genetically modified? In the United States, there are 9 different crops that can be commercially grown. This includes corn, soybean, cotton, canola, alfalfa, sugar beets, papaya, squash, and potatoes. According to the USDA, 95% of sugar beets, 88% of corn, and 94% of soybeans grown in the U.S. are of the genetically modified background. It is estimated that about 3/4 of these processed foods that we contain some part of a genetically modified organism, otherwise known as GMO or transgenic organism. Scientists have created a method of altering the very genetic information of these foods, plants, and organisms to our benefit. But are they all safe? We've got the story, and we'll be giving you facts about GMOs, addressing some of the main controversies, and letting you make your own decision on if these organisms are good or bad. We'll go live to Sarah with the story.
Thanks, Sarah. Genetically modified organisms are important and have many uses in the world around us, but a few people still have taken issue with them. A genetically modified organism is any organism whose genetic material has been altered using genetic engineering techniques. A more specifically defined type of GMO is a transgenic organism. This is an organism whose genetic makeup has been altered in a laboratory to express desired traits or produce desired products by adding of genetic material from an unrelated organism or changing its own genes. This should not be confused with the more general way in which GMO is used to classify genetically altered organisms, as GMOs are organisms whose genetic makeup has been altered without the addition of genetic material from an unrelated organism.
That's right. GMOs are used to produce many medications and genetically modified foods, and are widely used in scientific research in the production of other goods, such as items made of cotton, shampoos, lotions, and soaps that contain soy. These include GMOs found in agriculture for food production, such as the production of livestock and crops. An example in agriculture would be the engineering the seeds of corn, soybeans, or other seeds to be Roundup Ready or resist insects or pests, including the western corn rootworm and the pink bollworm. An example with the use of animals is when animals have been modified to grow bigger or have a faster growth rate. GMOs in agriculture are important to provide enough food for everybody. Other examples of GMOs are found throughout medicine and human health. One example of medicinal use is when animals are used to help with medical and health purposes, such as when emphysema is treated by human protein produced in the milk of sheep. The GMOs are a benefit because they are advancing the medical industry.
All of these advancements can be accomplished through the scientific process by which GMOs are made. Genetic modification involves the mutation, insertion, or deletion of parts of genes. Inserted genes usually come from a different species in a form of horizontal gene transfer. Horizontal gene transfer is the movement of genetic material between unicellular and multicellular organisms, other than the vertical transmission of DNA from parent to offspring. It is an important driving factor in the genetic makeup of many organisms. These kind of horizontal gene transfers are artificially achieved by inserting attached genes to a virus, physically inserting the DNA into the nucleus by use of a needle or an electric pulse. Recombinant DNA technology is used by the joining of DNA molecules of 2 different species that are then inserted into a host organism to produce a new genetic offspring. The use of this technology has made it possible to isolate one gene or one small segment of DNA to be able to help determine its nucleotide sequence, which allows them to mutate and manipulate in highly specific ways. Here's my interview with Dr. Heidi and a very concerned member of the public. I'm here live with 2 individuals who have very different feelings on this controversial topic. How do you feel about GMOs?
Think about all the bad things GMOs can do. What if some of those genes that you put in GMOs get transferred over into our bodies or the bacteria in our gut? What if they become resistant to the bacteria in our stomachs? Could they transfer some of that DNA into our stomachs and alter it? That could really screw up how we process food or even make us sick.
That's a very good point.
Well, you have to understand that the use of gene transfer technology that does not involve antibiotic-resistant genes is encouraged within the GMO community. In other mammals, some of the bacteria has been shown to show up in the stomach, but it has never actually integrated or made itself a part of DNA in our stomach.
Wow. Mixing of crops with conventional seeds and the seeds of GMOs could lead to issues such as food that is safe for animals, but hasn't been cleared safe for humans to ingest. My main issue of concern is the effect GMOs could have on the environment if they were to escape and introduce genetically modified genes into wild populations of a certain organism.
Clear separation of fields in which these products are grown is the easiest way to avoid this issue. Listen, this issue has only been reported in small numbers, and the percentage of the soil product was very minimal. The possibility of GMOs going out into the natural environment is a very real possibility, and is one that many scientists are working hard to figure out a solution for.
After our earlier interview, I brought Dr. Heidi in for a live interview in set.
Hi. Some people prefer to buy non-GMO products, which is totally fine. However, GMOs have had a positive effect on the economy, especially in agriculture, since there is more food available for consumers. Also, according to scientific evidence, GMOs are not considered dangerous. There was a 30-day study done on rats to test the safeness of GMOs. The study was done on rats since the effects would be easy to study. At the end of the study, they closely monitored the rats involved in the study and even looked at the relative organ weights through microscopic observations, then compared the results to a group given transgenic rice and the group given the rice that is non-GMO. The study concluded that the rats consumed GMOs had no effects that differed from the rats, which supports the use of GMOs. This was pretty widely accepted evidence that GMOs are not harmful. However, the study only used genetically modified corn, soybeans, rice, and wheat, not any other genetically modified foods.
How will this be applied to everyday life going forward?
Well, GMOs are found almost everywhere in life and include many benefits for us. For the health field in particular, the use of GMOs allows scientists to study the organism to help them understand human diseases and how they can be treated. For example, in a laboratory, viruses and bacteria can be genetically engineered to study, or human antibodies that help fight diseases can be produced in the eggs of chickens.
You guys are crazy. These people are crazy, okay? You know how this is going to evolve, what it can be applied to. Sooner or later, GMOs are going to be ruling the economy. I swear to God. Mark my words, okay? All the food we eat is going to be controlled by GMOs. All the food! All of it! You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry about that rude interruption.
That's okay. The evolution of GMOs can be used to help in all aspects of life, and it is especially important in the medical field. There was a genetically modified mosquito created that was made to help reduce the spreading of the Zika virus and the overall mosquito population. Its purpose would be to mate with wild-type mosquitoes, which would result in the reduction of offspring because of the genetic modifications made of the genetically modified mosquito. At the time of the publication of the report, the genetically modified mosquito had not been released into the public to block the spread of the Zika virus. However, that is one way genetically modified organisms can be applied to our environment in a helpful way.
These are both great points and brings about a very important discussion about GMOs going forward. Back to you, Sari.
As you can see, there are many things to be considered in a controversial topic such as this. Overall, it's scientifically shown that GMOs are an important aspect in the field of science. While possessing many benefits that provide improvement in the agriculture and medical fields, it has little to no recorded harmful effects on humans or other organisms. This allows exciting new developments in medicine to help combat viruses and other diseases, which can be great for the future of science. Thank you for tuning in to Biology Today.